this evening with you guys just about Juice Plus and why it's so important. So really promote, if you would. Okay, Sylvia, you really inspired me, just so you know, to do the arms workout today when I saw you work at the gym, just FYI. But went back to what I was saying is these events, I'm really proud of you guys for getting on these events. They are foundational, but you are your calendar. So really, I encourage you guys to post your calendars. Those of you that are in the sales coordinator to SSC, I know call with Jeff and Cheryl, they've asked you to to post your events in your calendar. And if you really remember from Melanie sharing about her journey in just a short amount of time, her big thing was her grid and working your grid. And I think that's what I want us to focus on from now until the end of February. Just everybody turning in their grids every Sunday to me. To email those to me, it'd be Lauren, Loren, Slocum, Slocum, @gmail.com. And to take that grid to show who you're going to be talking to. It's the beginning of the month for February. So take this week to fill in that grid of who you're going to talk to, what events you're going to do, what events you're going to plug into as well. That site will say what's most powerful. So we have a lot of people that were on from boot camp. And I'd love if you guys would share a little bit about the breakthroughs that you had from boot camp, that you would share with those that weren't there, and just what your plan of action is moving forward. So who wants to start? Molly, we've got Andre, we've got Mary Beth, we've got, who else was on from boot camp? I don't know who else. I think
I can start.
Sure, okay.
Okay. Boot camp was awesome, of course. Learned so much. I guess one of the biggest things that I took away was having a really strong DMO. My DMO is kind of like all over the place. I'm like, yes, I need to do like my MFA and this and that, and I need to reach out to people and follow up. But, like the little things, like listening to Danielle speak and saying, if you're going to do your social media posts, plan that out on a Sunday, have them ready to go so they're done. Like I've written up my DMO for today even, and I'm going through, and as I do it, checking it off, whether it's my personal development, whether it's like I write out the people I'm going to reach out to, who I'm following up with, because if you're not writing it out, you don't necessarily know what you're doing. But I guess one of the biggest things was just having that strong daily method of action. So I'm focused, my energies are focused, and I'm not all over the place. You're muted, Lauren.
Lauren, you're muted.
But that really is the key, because otherwise your day just, takes over. You don't run your life, your life runs you, if you would, right? So it's really important to do that DMO, and you'll feel more in control. And also it's great for duplication, because when you can show people what you do more than anything, and show people, say, here's what I do, right, on a daily basis. And you don't have to do it exactly this way, but here's what works for me. So that DMO has been really powerful. That's been foundational for me as well. I wish I could see if I could find my picture of mine that I've done here. Like I said, this is the one that I printed up, I gave to people. I did this 9 years ago when I started the business. Here's what I do on a daily. I don't know if you guys can see it. Here's what I do on a weekly. Here's what I do on a monthly. And I'll take a picture of this again and post it up again. But it's kind of old, but guess what? 90% of it still applies. So if I look at my DMO, check in with my sponsor every day. I check in with Cheryl every day, tell her what my outcomes are for the day, what my outcomes are for the week. It might be through a text. It might be through an email. It might be, it might be 5 minutes on the phone. Commit to talking to at least 2 people minimum about the product or the business, or that might include a follow-up. Commit to taking my Juice Plus daily. Do at least 1 3-way call daily. And that doesn't mean that it has to be about Juice Plus. It might just be making a relationship, creating a relationship. Grip on people, not giving them too much information at once. When I'm at lunch or dinner, put my Juice Plus on the table. So today, when I meet up for when we meet up, Leah, we'll meet up at a coffee shop. We'll go from my house and we'll go straight to Coffee Bean, and we're going to sit there and you'll see that I put my Juice Plus out there as we talk, right? I might have her watch a video while we're there. So I try not to work at home as much as possible. Listen to at least 15 minutes of personal development or a webinar or a CD, something in that way. Treat my Juice Plus like a business versus a hobby. Really listen to people's wounds and how Juice Plus can solve their wounds. And, I do a Facebook post at least once a day, and I recommit every day. So basically 100% of what I'm doing every day. And this was something that I did 9 years ago. You guys understand? So it's really easy for me to keep that going. Once again, if I did that 9 years ago when I started my business, and I'm still doing it now as an NMD, my weekly must set my outcomes for me personally and for our team. I set some goals with a person that's on the line. They said, hey, would you do something for me if I make something happen by the end of the week? And I said, absolutely. And I gave them the game plan. And so now they've got their game plan. Check in to see what local events I can attend for me and my team. I just found out I need to be, I'm going to LA for the night. So I can't really do anything in LA, but I'll be in LA on Wednesday, just for the day. But after 9:30 at night, somebody wants to meet up, I can meet up at the hotel. We're going to be at the Renaissance. If people want to bring some people by the Renaissance. On Saturday, it turns out I need to go to New York on Saturday. So, we're trying to arrange. I just talked to Danielle and Sylvia. You might want to, do this. We were planning on doing a brunch on Sunday, right? So about 11 o'clock on Sunday in New York. So always be thinking of how you can be doing that. So what events I can attend for me and my team. But you guys need to go and see what events are happening out there for you as well. Continue to review my list of potentials, customers and distributors. Ensure that I am on our weekly team calls and check in with my frontline. Ensure that I am on my sponsors' weekly team call. Be on the pay plan call with myself and my new distributors. Have at least one wellness presentation for me and my team. Now we're doing that via Zoom, right? Update my Juice Plus photos from events on Facebook. I need to do that. Like I need to do all of us that were at boot camp, we should put create a album, from boot camp and put that on your page because it's going to show that you were just at boot camp. Maybe put your video of you breaking the board. Call any customers that are due for a call. Do as many 3-ways as I can. Send emails to those of my team who do their 5-1, which is 5 customers and 1 new distributor, and celebrate my wins with my team and recommit. Those are exactly the same things. You're talking 9 years later, okay? So we're not talking about, redesigning this every time. When you have this as your roadmap, you can use this, and it's an easy roadmap, but you don't have to do it my way. But just find out what really works for you. So really want to talk about, that calendar. We've got a lot of people now on the line who are at boot camp. So would love if just real quick, if you guys could unmute yourself. We are recording this call. Your top takeaways and how you're going to apply that to your business. So let's see. Who's going to start? I forgot who said they were going to start. Somebody's going to, Molly, I think you were going to start. Mm-hmm. Molly?
Yeah.
Okay. Takeaways. Oh, I'm sorry. You shared about.
I shared. Yeah.
So once again, about the power of the DMO that we just talked about. How about you, Mary Beth?
Hi. Yeah, I love boot camp. That, I went there and I gave up something to be there, which gave me leverage right away. And I woke up today and my boyfriend's mother died yesterday. So I committed to spending today with him because I wasn't here yesterday. I was at boot camp or coming home from boot camp. So I woke up today. I have an appointment with my life coach. I set a goal for this week. I gained leverage by saying what I wanted to do by Friday, the end of the day. I took from that boot camp, letting go of limiting beliefs. I took from boot camp the focus that it takes to be on purpose. No kidding, no screwing around. That was huge. Taking this business seriously, knowing what my gifts are and letting go of what that inner voice tries to interrupt my focus. And I will no longer allow that to get in the way of my success in this company. And I know I can be NMD. I don't know the exact when, because I need to be in action right now to find out what that will take for me, because I don't know yet. That's how I don't know yet, but I am willing to do whatever it takes. And that's what I got from boot camp. And ending with that breaking of the board, Lauren, was beyond empowering for me. I never did that before.
Wow.
And when I first hit it, it didn't break. And then when it broke, my whole heart opened up to this new possibility. And I had my grandmother's name on the back, and it just so emotional, so passionate, powerful. And thank you, Lauren, for being a leader that I trust, I believe in this company, and I'm on a different level today as a human being.
Oh.
And, it goes beyond Juice Plus. It's all that, empowerment from the weekend. It was not about learning the comp plan and, okay, what's in these capsules. It's about a whole way of being. Yeah. And that to me is like amazing. So I'm grateful and I'm ready to soar. Thank you.
Yeah, we can definitely, everybody can hear it in your voice for sure. I mean, and I think you really hit a resolve.
And I'm drinking the water.
I think you really hit a resolve, Mary Beth. We were talking about something, if you don't mind me sharing this, because I think it might be able to serve everybody. What we talked about is that, Mary Beth was very successful with another company. And I was talking to Karen Jones about it, and it was almost like, she kind of hit a little, almost like a PTSD, is because she's like recovering, has to recover from that, but she's not going to let that story be her story anymore. Could you maybe share about that? I think some other people might have that in some part of their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to play this victim and, oh my God, this happened to me. And I built my way through blood, sweat, and tears in another company. I mean, I had my newborn baby attached to me, nursing. I slept 4 hours a night to build an empire in this other company. And that got taken away from me. It doesn't matter the why. And I had this vision of myself that, I just felt that if I commit to another company, it was this inner trigger that it could happen again. And as much as I believe in Lauren, I had this block, this energy that was very traumatic to me. And I had an identity. I had all this stuff connected to the past. And I think by really stepping up and taking a risk, by leaving a job and telling them I need to be somewhere else this weekend and committing 100%, and Lauren, actually, I think the pivotal point for me, Lauren, was when you said that to me and you identified, it allowed me to embrace it and to let go of it. And I think because you identified that and connected with me as a person, and that identification allowed me to let go of it. Right. Because otherwise it was in my own being, and you as a friend and a mentor and my sponsor, by identifying that, allowed me to say, okay, this was real, but it doesn't have to define me today.
Right.
And I'm capable. I am capable of being a leader in this company. And that's like a leader in my life. And that was empowering to me as a mother, as a friend, as a daughter, as a partner to my boyfriend. Like, that was holding me back as a person. And I already was with my daughter last night. I treated her to a manicure. I am living in a different way today because of you, the company, all you guys at that event. I have friends, they're not even in my group. I don't care. We've already been, my buddies, we've already texted this morning. I don't even know where one of them lives, and they're not in my line. We are one. We are one in this company of empowering people. And I'm a new person today. Awesome. And I am grateful. And I'm excited to meet all of you, whoever the heck you are on this call. Like whoever I met with the boot camp, I love you all. We're all one. We all want each other to be the best. And I got that out of this weekend. It wasn't like, oh, they're on that team. Who are they going to get in competition? And I'm going to screw you over. No, we are all coming from big love. And I felt it. And I'm glad I was at that boot camp.
So Mary Beth, can you share a little bit about what you do? Because some people might not know what you do and why Juice Plus, why you decided to come back, and why you're really giving this a strong yes right now of what you've seen. Because some people don't know your history. Like,
Well, I've been a nutritional microscopist for 20 years. And what that is I prick fingers, I look at blood under the microscope and I say, you're either in or out of balance. Very simple. And I can identify things within the body of how our life has not been serving us, and fine tuning through eating, living, and thinking what can transform our body at a very internal environment level. And Juice Plus, adding simple 3 capsules twice a day into our system, can totally add deposits. And to me, life is about, is this person going to contribute to me or take away next? And I don't have a problem anymore because the blood does not lie. And Juice Plus, to me, offers the opportunity for people to simply add deposits. It's not like I'm a sought after person in a lot of multi-level marketing companies. And I'm not saying that to impress you, but to tell you that all these companies have the product of the month, of the year, of the whatever. And to me, that doesn't attract me. I love Juice Plus because it's simple. Fruits, vegetables, berries, enhancement to our internal environment. And I'm not saying all these other products don't do something, but Juice Plus is duplicatable. It can enhance your well-being. It's for kids. It's like, it touches my heart that I can work with my child. My 16-year-old yesterday, I'm like, look, Alana, this is what you can do. Be a product of the product. Tell your friends. And she's like, I'm going to help you, mommy. That was like, oh my God, like tears. Do you know what I mean? Like, we are bonded. And this is what the company offers too. I can make a difference for other people on this planet and not do some woo-woo, supplement or whatever. This is a whole food nutrition that can totally make a difference at a cellular level. Sign me up. Hello. What, it's not like, oh, take this voodoo, oh, we found this in Brazil on some tree. And if you take it, you're going to live for another 14 years. It's like, shut up, get over it. I have people seriously calling and texting me, Facebooking me every day to get me in their company. I'm like, no, thank you. No, thank you. So I'm committed. I think you can hear it. Juice Plus, it's so simple. And that is the gift. And the tools that we have in this company with all this self-empowerment, to me, is worth more weight than any freaking supplement you can take. Take your red, greens, purples. We've got our shakes. Now we're going to be getting the essential oils, which to me are like life building. We need our good fats. I mean, how simple. So I'm totally committed. It's all about the love.
okay, if you guys aren't fired up after that, your wood's wet, as we say, right? That right there, just that says it all. Awesome. Thank you, Mary Beth. How about let's hear from who else wants to share? Manon, Andre wants to share. Okay, Andre, let's hear from you. I unmuted you.
Wait, am I?
You're unmuted. You're good.
So everything sorry, I lost my voice for good reason. I think one of the top aha moments that I had was that whatever you choose to do it for you. Meaning, if you are going to boot camp, don't do it to impress someone else. Don't do it to show that you're going to be present there just because. Do it for you. Be present for you. Another thing that I learned was, especially from Linda Eviden, if Lauren had judged her for not joining her mission at the time that she wanted her to join the mission, Linda wouldn't be who Linda is today. And I heard over and over, especially from the women who spoke from Australia, I heard over and over that they, above all else, they developed a relationship with a person and they were invested in their well-being and they respected where everyone was, where they were. And because they respected them and didn't judge them and give them space for them to be who they were, interestingly, because they were allowed to be themselves, they were empowered and inspired to follow, in this case, follow Lauren and follow the mission and become the women and the men that they were destined to be. So that's the first batch. The second batch, or I think the most powerful or more in an intimate level for me, was the board breaking part. And it wasn't so much about me board breaking, but rather me being the person who was holding the board. And it was really interesting. It was really interesting because I was put in a position that I was never trained for. Never trained for. If you were to have asked me before, if Lauren had sat me down and would have given me a test saying, okay, what do you do if this person gets in front of you and starts doing this, and gets blocked or whatever, I would have not been able to answer, maybe, but more importantly, the strategies that I would have been able to come up with would not have been the ones that I used when I was helping and coaching people through it. And what that was, and I remember there was one person that insisted on breaking the board with his hand, and he was the very last person. And Lauren said, "Andres, come over here." And I had to deliver, not so much because Lauren was there, partly, but more so because I knew this guy could do it. I had felt it. I had recognized it in his eyes. I knew this guy had it. All I had to do was for him to focus on something differently. And the solutions I came up with, and Lauren was trying to coach, but suddenly she fell back, I guess. And whatever I did delivered. And what that gave to me was the experience of knowing the difference between being in your head and being in your heart. If I had been in my head, which is if you sat down before and give me 1, 2, 3 and the strategy and all that stuff, I would have never, ever, 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 ever been able to deliver that breakthrough. And I didn't deliver it, but I certainly created the atmosphere and I guided that person to the other side. So
Andres, so that's really big. What did you get from that? How many of you got that? That it's what? When did most of us said when we grew the most in this business was when we didn't have all the training, when we didn't have all the information, when we were what? Ignorance on fire.
Correct.
And that's really the gift. If you sit there and you try to tell everybody every single thing versus like what part doesn't make sense. It's fruits and veggies in a capsule, you know? So it's the same thing. It's like break the freaking board. Here's what you don't want. Here's what you do want. Hang on a second. I'm gonna let you guys keep going
and I think more importantly, I think it's ignorance is bliss. But what it refers to specifically is that sometimes when we get all these knowledge from outside, we stop trusting ourselves and we stop trusting our intuition. So what that taught me was that no matter where you are, what stage you are in life, you can always, always, always rely on your heart, and you can always rely on that one thing guiding you and figuring it out.
Relationships, it's all relationships.
Absolutely.
Right? Remember, we all of us said long-term relationships equal long-term success. I mean, that's why Leia's on the call, right? I mean, I would say, you know, I was coaching Leia with something else. And, you know, I said, and I never, ever did I ever mention Juice Plus, ever, you know? And I asked her, I said, why did you decide to say yes? She goes, because you know what? You respected my space and, you know, you were just a friend. I mean, that's the job. The job is you don't know when they're going to say yes. You know, I wish Kate would have been able to be there that past weekend. But, you know, I mean, Kate, the one who said, I've been watching you for 9 years. Yes, Mary Beth, you have your hand raised.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to add one quick thing, because what really made a difference for me is that people shared worldwide that they didn't have to be a health professional, which I am. They didn't have to be anything but who they were, and they could get to NMD because of their consistency. And that gave me hope, because I kept looking at these NMDs like, I can't do this. I can't get motivated to do this. And to me, I left that boot camp realizing that anyone can get to NMD with belief, letting go of the bad days and the rejection and the no's, and just stepping up and realizing I can do this too. It isn't like you're so like special, which you are, Lauren, and all the other people that shared around the world that got to that level, they weren't any different than you and me and the people on this call. That was inspiring to me because I regained that sense of I can do this. It's not like you guys and then I'm some peasant down there trying to get to VF or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like I felt like I can do this and I can take the no's and move on in my life. And that was huge.
Very cool. I love it. They're not fired up at all, guys. All right. Who else? We've got Leah. We've got Lisa. We got a lot of people there. I'm going to get you, Leah, right now. And I'm going to mute my dog for a second.
Okay, so for me, it was like Mary Beth. Can you guys hear me, by the way? Okay, cool. Okay, so like Mary Beth, I spent the last 7 years of my life in another company that I was very, very successful at. And I was not, I don't think it was me worrying that the same thing would happen with Juice Plus. It wasn't that, because as a matter of fact, when I signed up with Juice Plus with Lauren, I didn't even know first of all, I knew she was doing something. I didn't know what it was. I just went on her page a couple times and I saw her like with all these awesome people and stuff. Like I had never ever heard of Juice Plus. I didn't know what she was doing. I didn't even know if she was doing something. So I just knew I wanted a piece of what she had, right? So I know that part works. And it wasn't until later, like I thought it was juice, right? And it wasn't until later that I found out what it really was. But honestly, that part didn't really matter to me because I trusted Lauren. So anyway, back to the boot camp. It was, I had this old story in my brain about with my company, our income was always up and down, and it was something you could never really trust. You could never, if you had a good week one week, it might be crappy next week, it might be okay the next week, it was one of those things. And I think in my mind, I was okay with that, because it had been happening for so long, over such a long period of time. And I don't know, my mind just it saw it as normal. Does that make sense? I don't know you guys, if that makes sense to you guys, but it was normal in my mind, normalize it, and it made it okay, and it made it normal. So whenever I said, like in my conscious mind, okay, I want to make X amount of dollars or whatever, that part of my subconscious that says, you know what, we're okay with whatever we're doing, even if it's, even if you're struggling 1 month, it's okay, and that's what my subconscious mind was telling me, because it had been cemented in there by all those experiences, right? So when I wrote it down on my board, like this is the jacked up part. So I didn't realize how obviously how strong that was in my mind. And so when we had the boards and everything, like my husband broke his in like 2 seconds. The new distributor that I brought broke hers in like 2 minutes. I was like, okay, this is going to be, I'm going to bust my board and that's going to be that. Oh my God. 7 times? Really, guys? Like 7 freaking times I tried to break the freaking board. I never did break it with my hand. That's how jacked up it was. And the funny thing is that when I hired Lauren, I hired her in the beginning because she's a no-nonsense person. Like I just gel with her, right? And she was, even though I was like in tears at the end of the 7 times, like I had the bruises on my hand, she was tough on me, right? She didn't let me just cop out. She didn't let me just say, screw this. I'm done. I'm not gonna do this. This is embarrassing. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. She was like, she just looked at me and she said, this is bullshit and you're going to do it. And then she took me over to, where you break it with your elbow. And then she's like, you need to get more faith and you're going to freaking do it. That's it. And then they put the board and I broke it the first time with my elbow after that. So it was like, that had never happened to me. I was so shocked that I couldn't, like, the first or second time I couldn't freaking do it. It shocked the crap out of me. So I think for me, it's like you don't realize how strong the blockages are until you face them head on. That's number one. And number two, like you have to have somebody that's really strong and really determined in your corner, right? Because if you have friends and business associates that are just going to fall over, like when you say you're not going to do it, or that let you skate when you say I'm going to talk to 10 people. Oh, I only talked to 2 today. Oh, that's okay. Then guess what? You're not going to make your breakthrough. You're not going to achieve your goals and do what you need to freaking do to get where you want to get to. You need somebody that's going to hold you accountable, that's going to look you dead in the eye, just like Lauren said, this is bullshit, and you're going to do it. Period. End of story. So do it. So that was a big one for me. It was really that blockage that I have had about the income. And I think
that's a big one for a lot of people on this call, honestly. How many people say, well, I've got something coming in. That's nice. I've got something coming in, right? Versus like, and then like, okay, it's going to go up and down. Versus like, why not? Like, why not have big goals, and why not me? And the truth, once again, sorry, my dog, guys, he wants to participate, tell you guys what he thinks about it. But the other thing is, once again, just realize, and I think Danielle did a really great job. People buy you. They buy you. They want to be a part of something with you. They want you. So what is it that really makes you unique that you can bring to your page, or bring more of you to the table as well? So, all right, who's next? We got a couple more. We can just go.
Lauren, can I ask something very quickly about about the boards? Very quickly.
Sure.
Okay. So I find it powerful that a lot of people who had the process of not breaking the board initially and then breaking it, it's a very powerful gift, because you get to see the before and the after, and what you need to do to shift that thinking in order to make it happen. And Leanne and a lot of people that had difficulties breaking the board on my lane, I told them, write it down, because then you'll have the blueprints of what you do when you don't break the board, and then the blueprint of what you do when you break the board, and that little 2 millimeter switch that you do. That way you can actually, when you confront things that are, when you confront times in your life where you can't break that board, you can sit back and actually do the same thing that you did for the board.
So you have a winning formula. Or you can do what Eric Worre says. Say yes, tell the world, figure it out. And if you looked at the state, it's open. Christina, let me tell her. I'll tell you why most people don't break through the first time is they're in their head and they're not in state. So if you get them to, if you notice, most people when they got up there, they just got up. Some people were through the board before the board even broke, right? So the biggest thing about the board is state. It's absolutely state. You can tell when someone's going to break through the board or not, right? It's very obvious the minute. Hazel, our 86-year-old, right? It's all right, gets up there, just goes right there. But she's centered, she's grounded, she's in state. And you can see the people that don't break through lots of times, they're focusing right on the board. They're looking right at it. So, and then when you look right at that board, it's like Christina just walked in, and the guy who helped her was like, hit me, and push through it, she's like, and she hit him. And so sometimes when you don't put the board up, and then you put that board up, and they're like, holy shit, and they're through it, right? So a lot is, the most important thing I'll tell you is state. You got to be in state every day. So the question is right now, what's the state that you're in? What do you do? Are you if somebody jumped on this call right now and they go, okay, I could pick one person that I'm going to work with. Who's the person that's most in the state? Who's the state? Who's the most person?
Me.
Look at yourself and look at yourself right now and say, okay, if I was new to this call, who's the person I look at? I go, holy shit, they're in state. They're ready to go. They're ready. I want to work with them, right? So that's got to be your state. Not lying down, not on this and that. It's are you really in state when you come to these calls, to these events? Make sense?
Yeah.
You guys get what I'm saying? How you do anything is how you do everything. So what's your state like, right? Knowing that Sylvia was up at the gym with her boyfriend. I looked at her back and I'm like, oh my God, I want a back like that again, right? I was like, that got me in state to go work out. So you got to really look at, where is your state, right? With regards to anything. And so I'd say and keep your board in front of me. Look, I got my board. This is last year's board. This is from last year's boot camp right here, and on the back, I dedicated my board just so you guys know, Jules is still not doing well. So if you guys would please send her your prayers, but I dedicated my board to Jules, right? And on the back of my board, last year was, here's what I got. I mean, I've still got lots of you guys on here. You know what I mean? I mean, I put a lot of people on there. I have donate $5,000 to Starkey. I was able to do that. I wrote July 2016. I was able to do that. Linda gave 300 Club. That happened in July 2016. Our team going 500 Club. We're 500 clubs, but I'm very under the radar about it, just so you guys know, because I just don't want to make it about that. I want to make it about you guys getting there. And then I put, Joss NMD, Nancy NMD, Suzanne NMD, a couple other people, Linda Clark. I was like, just based on Linda going 100 Club. So our team 500 Club, I put my mom in the middle, my kids, and I have no idea what FUISU is. Oh, I do. Fuck you, I'll show you. That's my whole thing. So, that's my board. I kept in front of me from last year, and now I have this year's board in front of me. So you guys are always around me, always, and I'm always celebrating that as well. So, what is it? What is it that really gets you in state every day? I mean, I look around me at all the stuff I've got, but it's stuff that gets me in state. I don't know what's around you right now, but are you?
Lauren?
Yes.
Hey, it's Manon. I just, what can I just share what really got me this? It was just like everything you're saying here is so important. First of all, I've heard it before, but it just resonated with me when Cheryl said it. Focus, follow on course until successful, because it's not a straight friggin' line. It's like it's this loopy loop that goes like this, right? And I'm leaning into that and having faith in it. It's like, you know what? It's like, I can't hear you, Lo. You're muted, babe.
I'm going to go find something as you're talking. So keep going.
Okay, got it. So the focus thing, the state. So this morning I have a commitment that I get on my rebounder, it's right there behind me. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right there. It's right next to my tower garden. Can you see it right there? So I rebound every morning. I get on, I just worked out. I have my, I love the fact that for me, I'm a high achiever. So I never acknowledge the things that I do every day. I take my Juice Plus every day. That's part of my DMO. That's awesome, right? I take my shakes every day. That's awesome. I mean, that is a part of my DMO. And I loved how Lauren kept it really simple. Maybe we're all just high achievers, but that's a part of your DMO, right? Consistency and building on that consistency and celebrating it, and my morning routine where I do my affirmations every morning. I have my I am cards. My vision board is almost done completely here too. I can see can you see that right there? Can you see that over there? It's like, it's 90% done. So, and my birthday is on Thursday. So to me, it's like January is a reflection time where I really get it done, and I'm so friggin' excited. And it's like, and the other thing we did too with eliminating beliefs with what's her name? Karen Jones. And we did that whole process. That was amazing too, because it was Luke doing the same thing as well, right? Of what's your story? What's your before story? What's your new story going to be? And the only way we can change it is, or for me, is just being able to be aware of it, right? And it's breaking through those layers and knowing that we're in this business that's cleverly disguised as a personal development course, right? And every day, here's the things, this is my magic list of people I call, right? And it's huge. This thing is filled. It's like the whole thing is just filled with names. And I'm going through it. And before I used to get overwhelmed, and I'm excited. It's like Christmas every day. I get to call 5 people off the list, right? And follow up with the others and keep going down. And it's I love this sticker that's sitting here for me. Action cures fear, right? Because it's like that fear is like a mental masturbation thing. And I love this so much. I like look at it every day. So it's like, get off my ass and go do it, right? So that's the thing that really got me. And also I love Hazel. Consistency, how Tony Robbins talks about it too. It's like all these people talking about different things where, we're on a trajectory, right? And if you just do one little change, right, and it doesn't seem like a lot at first, but then if you start moving it out, right, over time, it gets huge. Even if it's just
because people don't know about Hazel. Some people, you've got half of the people.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so Hazel is this 80-year-old woman who was there.
86.
86-year-old woman who was there, and she first of all, she's younger. She's in her 20s. From her energy, her vibrancy, her love of life, her joie de vivre, and yet she also is an old soul in the sense that she has that innate knowledge of just really appreciating life that somebody when they're older can. And she's just pure joy. But she really, basically, what I took away from her. Her son is a triathlete, and she never worked out at all. She was a piano player. And so he said, Mom, you got to work out. You got to start, exercising, and just even if it's walking or whatever it is. And that was, I forget how many years. Was it 30, 40 years ago, Lauren? I forget.
She was 52 and she's 86 right now.
Okay. So 30 plus years ago. And he said, Mom, you got to start working out. You can't, because her knees are creaking. And he said, and so ever since then, he says, whatever it is, she goes, well, I don't know how to do this. You just do one minute today. And then tomorrow you get to do 2 minutes. And the next day you do 3 minutes. And now, she works out like an hour plus a day.
So if you do 40 deep knee bends, 40 push-ups, yes. 40 sit-ups, if you do it consistently, she said, I can't even do one right now. Now she's up to, I think, 125, and she goes to the gym an hour and a half a day, so yeah.
So that's it's just consistency. I didn't know the exact numbers, but it's the consistency of building, because it's that little shift, right? In the beginning, we're like, well, what is that 1%? What is that really, right? But then it just, over time, it just grows because it's a completely different trajectory of where you're going in your life. So it's the little things and really celebrating those. The fact that I am consistent with my juice class and my shakes every single friggin' day. The fact that I do work out 4 or 5 times a week, every single friggin' week. The fact that I do call my team, the fact that I do have these things, I'm not going to beat myself up for that shit. I do the right stuff, right? And it's coming, and I'm on the successful thing squiggle that's going like this. And it's all coming, and I'm really excited. It's all working, and that was the parts that I got. And
I think Leah telling us, she stayed with Leah, and Leah was saying that she did it every day while she was there. Right?
Really? I love that.
Not just, people are really walking their talk. And so if we're talking about, let's start strong today. If you're really looking at your business and really starting strong, what is it? You're on these events, right? Cheryl's going to be on the 1:00 call, which I'd really encourage all of you guys to be on it. On that call. That's that fast track to SC call. And look, it's 30 years. It's 29 years this month. I'm going to send Cheryl some flowers from us, but it's 30 years. It's 29 years this month since Cheryl's been in the business. But why? She's another great example. Consistency. Why does she have so much momentum? Same thing like Hazel. She's got that consistency. Not just once a week, not just 5 days a week. She's on. Right? She's doing something every single day. So the calendar, I want you guys to really focus on getting your grid. Grab any kind of calendar. I don't care what it is. It's just a cheap one like this, and fill it in. What are going to be your posts for the weeks? What are going to be the events that you're on? What are you really going to commit to, you guys? Like, this is it. This is, you've got it. You know what you need to do. There's events that are happening. We've got the UK event that's happening the 24th and 25th. Who do you know in the UK that you can get to Birmingham? We're going to be there, right? We've got, like I said, we're going to do an event now in New York. We're going to do that Sunday. We're going to do a Sunday brunch. Since I'm going to be there, I'm like, I'm going there for something else. Wish me luck is all I can say. And I'm going there on Sunday. On Saturday, and then Sunday we'll plug in an event for you guys. But you've got to really want it. You know what I mean? You got to get hungry. because time's going to go by anyway. And if you don't get them, somebody else will, I guarantee you. And that's, I think, what's really, what a lot of people are realizing now, is that there's a big awareness. They just did, last Monday night's call was on the pay plan, and they had 300 more people on that call than normal. So what that means is people want to know a better way. 300 more people on the pay plan call than normal, right? Than on Cheryl's call when she has guests on. That's huge, right? I just posted the UK and Dubai pay plan that Danielle, I just posted that in the group for those of you that have people in the UK and Dubai. We're still working on everything. There's an event March 14th. So really starting strong. What do you got to do? Build relationships, right? If we're just talking right now, what do we have to do for starting strong with anything? You got to build relationship. Remember how Linda talks about being a master asker? You got to be able to ask really great questions for people, to people. The next thing that, I'd love if Lisa, I'd love if you shared, because Lisa is going to go SSC. Lisa's been in the business for less than 4 months, Lisa, 5 months, I think.
No, it's actually my 7th month.
7th month. Okay, she's going to go SSC in 7 months. She lives in the middle of nowhere. She knew nobody when she came here. So I'm going to let you just share. And you had how many team that were at boot camp, Lisa?
There was 3 of us at boot camp.
3 at boot camp. Awesome. Yeah. So why don't you share, and then we'll wrap this call up with some real plan of some more action items.
Okay, awesome. So I just have to say boot camp was absolutely incredible. So I'm new in the business and new in this whole industry and whole field. So going to events and doing these things is a new experience for me. And I took team to GoPro, and we had an amazing time. But I have to say this boot camp, I took away so much more from these few days. The experience was just of the highest caliber. And for me, the biggest takeaway was actually reaching out and asking for help and asking for support. For me, living in the mountains, so I'm like, right now I'm looking out and all I can see is mountains and snow. And when I was sharing at the conference that, like Lauren was saying earlier, get out of your house, go and build your business in other places. And I would do that. I would go to the local cafe and there wouldn't even be anyone there because that's how remote I am. So, it's been really interesting, and that's what I started to do. I'd never met Lauren before, or any of my uplines. My upline is my brother in New Zealand, and I started this business actually to support him, and then he just dropped off the radar. But I totally got the vision. I totally got the power of what this company could do. So I just ran with it. And so I would get on every Zoom. I'd get on Lauren's Zooms. I would write everything down. I'd record it. I'd transcribe it. Like I actually started to make different folders and of transcribed notes of everything I heard everyone say, and I would practice saying it myself, practice talking to pillows and, just to the air. But like, for example, I heard Celine giving a Zoom, and just like I'd done with Lauren and other people, I would reach out and connect directly, like send an email saying, hey, thank you so much for what you shared. I really love what you shared. Would you be able to assist me with blah, 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 answering this question? And then, Celine, this company is so amazing because, then Celine was connecting me to Christine Drummond, who I knew nothing about. And she's, like several upline from me as well. And then what is so incredible is just by reaching out and asking for help, all of a sudden, there's people that have no invested interest. Like Lauren has no invested interest in me. Christine has no invested interest in me. And here they are stepping in and helping. So, next thing, Christine was helping me on calls. And it's just been amazing because now my team is really, growing and is inspired to step up. But also at the event, they were talking about with your sidelines, reach out, ask for a support buddy. For me, I'm just getting started on social media and I don't have a lot of traction there. So being able to reach out to my sideline buddies and say, hey, can you support me in liking my posts or commenting on them and helping to gain that traction and energy and credibility so people are seeing that. And so that's huge for me and I've already done that this morning with some of my accountability people. Hey guys, please can you get on and support me with my posts? So it's amazing. It's truly that the company of the heart. But everything that everyone's been sharing about breaking through the boards and all of the take homes and stuff, I absolutely agree with. Personally, for me, with the breaking through of the board, what I noticed with my team is what was stopping us from breaking through the board was what was stopping us in all of our life. So it took me a couple of times. And what was happening was every time Luke was bringing up the board, I was looking at his eyes, but as soon as he brought the board up, I'd look at the board. And what I realized was that's what I do with my fears, is when a fear comes, when I become conscious of a fear, I look at it. I spend too much time looking at the fear rather than just moving through it. And another team member of mine, she was going in with so much force, but she would stop her hand just before the board. And that's what she does. She spends her whole life getting degrees and studying and everything, but then she stops before she can actually get out and make what she's learned practical. So that was huge for us. But the biggest aha moment for me, I have to share, was just these three simple things. I was getting a little bit confused on what to share with who in regards to Juice Plus. And I heard Lauren say, yeah, I call direct people and say, hey, you got to get on this product. And then I hear people say, don't share too much about Juice Plus. And I just didn't know where to fit what. So this was my biggest take home. One, if you know someone is truly sick and truly needs Juice Plus or has just lost their job and they're in dire straits, that gives you absolute permission to reach out to them direct, and this could save their life. You don't want to spend a lot of time building relationships and building curiosity if someone who's really desperate for help needs it. You've got to take responsibility and just reach out and say, I don't know if this is for you, but I absolutely think this could, save your life. Two, with your long-standing relationships and new relationships that you're building, that's where you start the conversation. And, obviously everyone's going to be different, use your intuition, but this is what I took home. Build those relationships and, asking all those wonderful questions to then start talking about Juice Plus in relation to that person. And three, use the social media to create curiosity. And I know that's probably really clear for a lot of you, but it wasn't for me. And that was the biggest moment. Now I really know how and where to fit people into my communication pipeline. So when I got that, it was like, yeah, now I'm unstoppable. So yeah, it was an awesome event. I would absolutely go every single year, and I'm going to make sure every one of my team is there next year.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, Lauren.
You're very welcome. And I hope all of you that weren't at boot camp, you can hear what they took away from it. And that's what we've got, you guys. We have, and that we've got that. We put this on for you. We do this so that you can build those sideline support as well. So here's your homework. Okay. Here's homework. And here's my offer. Because pretty much, I think everybody except Leah pretty much everybody, everybody that's on this line in Meredith, I want to offer some incentives for you guys. All right. So let's do some incentives. Any one of you can help somebody fast track this week. Any one of you on this call. I know it. It is only what? It is only in the US, it's 8 trios and 8 completes, or 12 trios between you and your team. If you're teaching people to build their dirty dozen and go wide, and they do that 500 points, their personal volume, that'd be their order of their trio and complete, maybe their spouse's order of a trio and complete, and then help their team, if they build team of at least 8 people with trio and completes, just their orders, guess what? They're VF. That's it. That's all that it takes to get to VF. That's it. You want to get someone to VF as quickly as possible. You want to get a check in people's hands as quickly as possible. That's your goal. Forget the DD thing. That's the slow track. It's nice. Yay. An extra $100 in LA. an extra $100 doesn't mean anything to anybody, you know, or New York or San Francisco or some of those bigger cities. So you want to get in people's hand a check as quickly as possible and show them the quickest way. So my goal is to quickly get a check in your hand so that you can quickly get checks in people's hands. So in the UK, thank you very much, Tasha, it's 15 premium or 10 premium and 10 shakes. Is that what she's saying? So it's 10 premiums and 10 shakes. So if you're teaching people to go wide, right, then all they've just, that's all they've got to do. That is it. And I like to use the language. You're gonna love it anyway. You're gonna want to share it with everybody. You're gonna love it. And if anything, you're gonna get paid on your own product, right? And you never know when people are gonna wake up. Let's talk about Mary Beth was on the, was a distributor 7 years ago, and the timing just wasn't right for her, right? It just wasn't right. Now's the right time for her. Lynn Ventura, another lady that was at boot camp with us, she got started as well 8 years ago. Timing wasn't right for her. Now the timing's right for her. But because they've been on the products, because they still have a couple customers, they're still, they've still been getting paid. So even if it's just been a check for $50, $100, they're still getting the money. So you just don't know when the timing's going to be right for everybody. Let's ask a question. I applied for the fast track to SSC call. You can still get on the calls. You should be fine with regards to getting on the SSC calls with Jeff and Cheryl. You have the code now. You just need to turn in, all of you that did that, you need to turn in your application. And Natalie, I'll follow up for you, but you should be fine with regards to that. Those of you that applied, but you should get on those fast track calls. But today is Cheryl's call in 2 hours for the our fast track to SC call. But those of you, the ones that are VFs on your way to SC, those of you that go SC by Valentine's Day, I'm writing it down. Those of you that go from VF to SC by Valentine's Day, other than one of you that knows you have to do it quicker, those of you that do it by Valentine's Day, you're going to get from me an extra $200. Okay? Those of you who go from SC to SSC, other than Lisa, you're going to have to give me a little bit of a break because you're really almost there, right? But those of you that are going to go from SC to SSC, which you all can do, but let's say by the end of February, I'm going to give you an extra $300 a month. $300 for that month. All of you can do it. Every single one of you on this call could do this. Every single one of you. You can. All right? But you got to hustle. I'm going to tell you, it's not talking to one or two people here or there a day. It's hustle, and it's hustle for just a couple hours a day. Oh yeah. And you, Manon, if someone passes you, I get to give them $500. She's on it. She's on it. Where's Suzanne Sadie? I think she's on. Suzanne brought Nada, and Nada just recruited an amazing man who really understands his business. I am sure that, they're about to hustle hard. I can feel it, and he gets it. He knows the importance of going wide with the business. So all of you guys that can do it, especially you've got conference in Birmingham, all of you should have tons of people. You can do this, you guys. I know that you can. So I'm putting this up here. Anybody goes from SC to SSC by the end of February, you're going to get $1,000 from the company, remember, and then you're going to get an extra $300 from me. Anybody that goes from VF to SC by Valentine's Day, you're going to get an extra $200 from me, as well as that $500 from the company. So are you guys on? I want to see your calendars. I want to see everybody posting their calendars. I want to see the month of February, who you're talking to, what events that you're doing. Those events include these events that we're doing right now. So you should fill your calendar, because what that's going to show your people when you're recruiting is, here's my calendar. You want to, here's my calendar. If you want to really go for it, this is what it's going to take to really do it. Is everybody clear? Is everybody good? Everybody fired up?
Yeah.
Yes, Sarah. Let's have as many people on Cheryl's event as we can. 1 o'clock today. We have Dr. Du Bois on the Cortese call tonight. And on our call this evening is, I think, Christine Drummond. Is that right?
Yep.
It's great. Let's
Yeah, Christine.
And really want to thank Tasha and Jessica. I love it. I hope you guys are loving what they're doing. Jessica's the one that's putting up the videos. Tasha's putting up the posts and helping me get the speakers for all of these calls. All right? Everybody good? Okay. Bye.